You could call this a revenge race. This is the moment to kind of reset the narrative. Because I'm gonna be honest, the narrative in 2025 for Christian Coleman ain't been good. And I don't care what anybody got to say. Nobody comes to a professional race in the 100-meter dash expecting to lose. And they definitely don't come expecting to get not second, not even third sometimes. Especially when you're going to meets that you've won in the past.
Mm.
Like, especially when there's nobody, but here's the key: nobody in those fields was somebody who beat him at USA's.
She wants to win this. She was disappointed in Miami when she didn't win that slam. Like she wanted to actually win the whole thing. But the question is, can she actually do it here? Because she got to go through some of the same people. Melissa,
She just
Tamari.
need somebody else just has. Okay, let's back up. Is Gabby going to beat Melissa on 100? No, I don't see
No,
that.
no.
But can somebody else beat Melissa? That's what she needs. She needs someone else to beat her.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That is true.
So who is the person?
These women always race. Like they are always racing, whether it's this combination or a different combination. It's like they're always competing against each other. What I'm interested to see is how do they respond to Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone just entering the field? Because I feel like her presence in the field may shift things. Because even if she doesn't have like on paper, she doesn't run faster than any of these athletes. Like her best is 12.65 from a couple years back. All these athletes have run faster, and most of them actually have run faster even just this year. But I think Sydney's presence might shift how people
Grand
do.
Slam track Philadelphia is finally upon us. And it feels like it's been a while that we've been waiting from, Miramar, Miami till now. But it really hasn't been that long on the calendar. But regardless, they came back with a list. And, hey, some names that we thought we might see, we don't see. But there's some names that I'm very glad that we do see. So, hey, we call it the magic of the slams, but the real question is, can anybody beat Kenny? So before we even get into the names, we got to start the conversation where it only makes sense. Give the man his just due.
Mhm.
Who's going to win the 200?
I mean, Kenny B. I low key want to say who's gonna win both. Like I know we like you said, I like the names that we have here in Philly. There's some new names added, and it makes it very intriguing. But the way that Kenny has been running, obviously the 200 he's already had on lock, and we've been saying that. But even in the 100 now, he seems to have that like lockdown as well. And I think the conversation, I feel like the 100 is where the conversation really lies, especially with this field in Philly. There could be some guys who could step up, some guys who maybe, need to do a little bit of work, but I feel like Kenny is still the leader when we're talking about the 100 and the 200 here in Philly. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, okay. Yes, I agree. I mean, that's why I framed the question that way. Can
Mhm.
anybody beat him? Because we're about to go through some names. But that's the only question that we're actually debating. Because, okay, for the people in the back, if you're new here, allow me to fill you in. Kenny Bednarek swept the 100 and the 200 at the first two slams. So
Yep.
he is now undefeated in a Grand Slam track race. And the margin of victory only got wider from the first to the second.
Yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong, that 200 is still the world lead, right?
It's still the world lead.
Like the
Still the
the
world
win
lead
legal world lead. Nobody's gone faster than 1984.
at all.
And the 100, it was what, 2-3, 2-4?
Yeah, it was like two, no more than 2-3. It was slightly windy, and we're talking about
Yeah,
nine
but
seven.
yeah, so I mean, it was 979.
Yeah.
But hey, wind assisted, whatever. All conditions, nobody went faster in the world. Am I correct?
No, nobody,
Okay, so
nobody.
even then, that still means something. So it's like, okay, they don't beat him, and he put faster time than anybody put down. And we about to come back again, and it's like, so who y'all gonna get? Because we know that, you know, well, I don't think Let's See Lay's gonna beat him tomorrow, even if he did show up.
No,
I
no,
just don't see that.
no, not at all.
And,
Can't, you know,
I mean, Noah didn't even run at his own meet.
exactly. So,
So he's not showing up. Like, even if, again, let's just assume he wanted to. He ain't ready. So he's not coming. Like, again, I don't think he was planning on it. So with the people who we got, what are your thoughts? Because Jarnell Hughes is the only name here And well, him and Andre DeGrasse are the only two we've seen race against
Hmm.
Kenny up until now. And we got to say the names. So, I mean, who are the big ones that we got now that, came to the party?
We got Christian Coleman, who I was a little shocked. I don't know if I was shocked, but it's a pleasant surprise to see Christian Coleman here. And we have former high schooler, now, newly minted professional with Puma, Christian Miller. And we've seen both Coleman and Christian Miller go head to head a couple times this season already. Now, Christian Miller has gotten the best of Christian Coleman both times, right? Down in Florida and then also most recently out in Tokyo. But Christian Coleman, I think he's an interesting case here because we've seen his season, even going back to last year where he missed the Olympic team. But this year, he's almost like you can argue going backwards in a sense, where he's gone from like third place to fourth place to fifth. He did get third in Tokyo most recently, like in a smaller field, but he hasn't looked as great on paper compared to what we might expect from a Christian Coleman, right? One of the quote unquote top guys in the 100. Now here, I feel like this is either an opportunity or like it's I don't know, essential for him to kind of prove, okay, I actually really belong here. Because this is probably the most high, well, maybe not the most high quality. That the fields in Diamond League were pretty good, but I think this is really important because these guys are treating Grand Slam really seriously. So I don't know. What do you think about both Christians? Both Christians.
Well, I'm gonna start with Coleman. I mean, give the man the respect that is due for past performance. But notice I said past performance because I've been saying the year 2019 now for a little too long because we're in 2025.
Man.
So I'm like, man, a lot was different in 2019. I mean, matter of fact, think about it. Like if you're watching this video right now, think about it. Think about the world in 2019 and the world in 2025. So with Coleman, we want to we know the only you have to measure him. He's kind of dealing with Russell Westbrook syndrome. That's what I call it because I'm a Russell Westbrook fan. I am, and I'm a Christian Coleman fan and have been. And people say that I'm hard on him. Well, I'm trying to be as level-headed about seeing it, and even though I still have my fandom, but fundamentally, when I look at his performance and now he's coming to Grand Slam, it's like, okay, you could call this a revenge race. You could call it, like a repechage, a second chance. It's a rebirth, or it's kind of like this is the moment to kind of reset the narrative. Because I'm gonna be honest, the narrative in 2025 for Christian Coleman ain't been good, and I don't care what anybody got to say. Nobody comes to a professional race in the 100-meter dash expecting to lose. And they definitely don't come expecting to get not second, not even third sometimes, especially when you're going to meets that you've won in the past.
Mhm.
Like, so that's been the narrative. So, I mean, we can say it how we want to say it, but nobody, like, before the gun goes off, it's like, I'm gonna get third today. Especially when there's nobody, but here's the key. Nobody in those fields was somebody who beat him at USA's. Not one.
Yeah.
Like, not
Yeah.
till in 2025, he hadn't raced any of those guys. And those were the only guys who he needed to be, not even needed to be. Those are the only people who were worth considering as like legitimately better.
On the US side in
Like,
terms of like who's raced, right?
well, okay, beside Litsile, I mean, like, and he raced him in a 100, but I mean, like, I still believe if you put Christian Coleman at the games, he would have been in that 100-meter final and mixed it up with everybody else. Because I remember watching the trials and seeing the form he was in. I have no reason to believe that he would have dipped off significantly. He would have been in that final. He had the
He would have
talent.
made the final. Yeah, he
So
would have made the
like
final.
whatever happens is just whatever hits the wall, hits the board. So yeah, Chris. Well, I'm gonna pass it back to you even because we'll get back to Christian Miller in a moment. Where is Christian Coleman actually gonna finish? Because he reminded us he can run the 1-2
Yeah,
last
he
year at the
can.
trials. So and I say reminded because I was paying attention when he was Christian Coleman swept the sprints indoors and outdoors at the NCAA level his final year in college. Swept like
2017.
indoor
Yep.
60, indoor 200, outdoor 1, outdoor 2, and took out collegiate records in the 60 and the 1.
Yep. Yep.
That guy goes and beats Bolt like that same year at the Worlds and then become the world champion in 2019. Correct me if I'm wrong, there was no world championship in 2018.
No, that was off year. Yeah,
So you
he
see what
won,
I'm saying?
and that year he was the Diamond League winner too.
Yeah.
So it's
So
like,
Christian
yeah,
Coleman was the guy. Like he comes out of college and he's just rolling until he had to leave the track. And when he comes back, the world is different. And we ain't never seen him look like that guy again. But he gotten close, but close don't count. So, or at least not, they don't give medals for close. So, all right. So where,
yeah,
so, okay.
that's
So
true.
where's he gonna go? Okay, I mean, let me stop. Where's he gonna finish?
Well, so I
Realistically.
think this is I'm struggling a little bit because obviously like his 2025, if I'm comparing him to some of these guys, like he hasn't looked as great. And essentially compare it, not even just the guys here, obviously compare it to the guys he's competed with. But for some reason, I feel like he's going to step things up. I feel like now the stage is a little bit bigger in terms of like the lights on, where it's like he has to now double 100, 200. And Kenny isn't waiting for anybody. Kenny has been running like like this is where it counts. Zarno Hughes has been running like this is what counts. So here, I think that Christian Coleman is he's not I don't have him winning any race. I don't have him finishing second in any race either. But I think he'll do well enough where he'll I think I could get him third place overall, like in
He's just
overall.
gonna
I
go
think
third twice, like third in the one, third
well
in the two.
I'm not sure. I think he'll maybe get third or fourth in the 100 and then maybe in the 200 he'll get like third or fourth or so. But I think overall I feel like he can finish top 3 in like the overall standings. That's where I think. Because I think Kenny B, Zarnell Hughes, and then I'd probably put like Christian Miller in the 100 ahead of him. Like that's where I'm teetering going back and forth. And then in the 200, I'm looking at again Kenny B, Zarnell Hughes, and then probably like Andre DeGrasse, I think, and then
Hmm.
Christian Coleman. Because especially in that two, I'm not sure if anyone else aside from those three are going to beat Christian Coleman in the 200. I think Christian is pretty solid there.
Well, wait, because I know you have Kenny in Darnell beating him, but you think Andre DeGrasse is gonna beat him in the two as well?
I think Andre, because even I forget what he finished in Miami, but Andre he finished last in the 100, but then he moved up. I think he finished fourth in the 200 behind Kenny Oblique and Zarnell.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So
that's where I'm and Andre just ran in Tokyo in the 200 and he ran a pretty strong, I think he ran 20.2 into like a -2 headwind. So I think Andre just in the 200 at right now in the season, he's just
he's
going to be a
looking
little
like
too
he's
much for
ready.
Christian. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right. Well,
that's what I'm thinking.
again, the truth is, okay, I'll get to Christian Miller in a moment because like now I've thought about it enough to be able to speak on it. But like I said, I'm a Christian Coleman fan, but I'm trying to make sure that whatever I'm saying, you know, is level-headed. So level-headed, he ain't beating Kenny and he ain't beating Darnell. That's out.
Nah, that's gone.
Level-headed, that's out.
That's
Now,
gone.
if I'm picking as a fan, I'm rooting for you. I want to be wrong. So please prove me wrong and prove yourself right. Because I saw the interview where he was like, "Hey, I'm close to putting it together." So hey,
Hmm.
put it together. The puzzle pieces is on the board. But as far as I'm concerned, things been looking pretty fractured up until now. So all that being said, I'll say he ain't beating them two. So now it's you know okay. Let's just say that he's gonna get third because Christian Miller's he's gonna finally hold him off this time.
Okay, you
Let's
think
just
he'll,
say
he'll?
that.
Okay,
I
okay,
mean, do I think he will? It's close enough where I'm gonna just say he will.
okay,
I mean,
okay.
that's my way of trying to meet in the middle with my heart and my head and be like, it's close enough where I'm gonna take a chance, even though I know that like, I mean, you just lost two races in a row the exact same way to the same person,
Same
and that
person.
which goes back to Christian Miller now. So Christian Miller in the 100, he is dangerous. He ain't that dangerous. He ain't beat Kenny dangerous, and he ain't beat
Yeah.
Darnell dangerous. At least
No,
not the Darnell we just saw, not the one we just saw in Atlanta, and the one we just saw in in Miami. He's not beat
Miami.
that guy. No.
No.
But I mean specifically Darnell in the 100 and then that straight track 200, gave us something else to think about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all that being said, he could get third. I don't think like I said, I don't think he's beating Darnell. So I think third is the only thing you're competing for. Because
Yeah.
to go to the rest of the field, just for clarification purposes, when I look at Udodio Uzuriki, who put down, great times in college at
In
Stanford.
college.
The
Yeah.
time he got there, he looked great. And then when he left, I mean, I don't think anybody really noticed. I mean, just keeping it a buck. And so it's
Yeah,
sort of like I can't look at you based off of what you did because I haven't seen anything since that moment when you were in that college system that resembles where you are now, which happens for a lot of athletes. But hey,
yeah,
I mean, this could be the moment. It's just I've seen a bunch of others, so I'm gonna go off of what I've seen. And then Aaron Brown, I mean, I feel like he's just a solid runner on the world stage at this point.
yeah.
But
He's
like,
consistent. He's
yeah,
consistent.
like he's just gonna solidly go in there and compete. But I don't necessarily know if, yeah. So like, yeah, I think Christian is my third in the 100. Here's the thing about Christian Miller. This is my whole thought on him. He didn't run in college. We know this, but you have to understand the other component of this. Christian Miller coming out of the high school thing, because I'm going to make a comparison. You know, sometimes I jump to the world I came from, which was the basketball world. The problem when high school players would get drafted into the league is that the gap in talent and the gap in play style is so significant. So they might have all the talent. It just didn't. It's hard because like you're doing it to people who just can't defend you. So in sprinting, he was just beating up on kids who just couldn't run with him. But when I watched
Yeah.
him run those last two races, Tom Jones and when I watched him run in Tokyo, both of them looked the same, where it felt like he just has insane confidence in himself. That gun goes off and he runs with no conscience. But then I remember what it's like for almost every NCAA freshman who shows up, and that's exactly what we do. The gun goes off and we just run with a whole bunch of insane confidence with no conscience. And then when the end result happens and we're not in first, because he wasn't in first in either of those races, to clarify, it's like you're still dealing with it. Like mentally, you're learning how to process that. What got you here isn't what's going to give you success while you're here. Like you can't stay here the way you got here. So in the 100, he's shown what he is, but his 200s were never that.
No, I mean, he's not I'm not looking at him in the 200 here to really be competitive.
I mean, he
Like,
can go 20.5, and that would be a good race for who he was.
but I mean, against this field, that's not it's not doing you much. Against these guys who are 200-meter, you're talking about even someone like Aaron Brown is
Yeah, yeah,
probably a
yeah, yeah.
better 200 runner than he is a 100 runner. So that's where I'm like, 200 conversation's a whole different thing for
Yeah.
him at least.
So that, well, this would, if he puts down a 200 that's competitive, this would be him announcing that to the world. That's how I
Yeah,
see it.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
so yeah. So for that reason, hey, love to see him in this field because fifth at the Olympic trials, and that's why this is a revenge race because Chris, to me, the slams matter, and I believe
yeah.
they'll matter
Mhm.
more in years to come. But for where we are today, if Christian Coleman, okay, let's play this game. And then maybe it's a game we shouldn't don't even need to play because maybe I'm talking crazy. But if I'm talking crazy, they'll let me know in the comments. What if Christian Coleman gets second?
It
What
like
does that mean?
overall second.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I mean, if he manages to get second place overall behind like Kenny B in this case, that would be huge. That would be like, in my opinion, that would be a complete turnaround. Now, it's not to say like obviously he has that talent. Like in
Yeah,
theory, actually, he should get second here. Like if we're just
yeah.
going based off like
Olympic
or
trials
Sylvester
last year.
Olympic trials, all that, he should get second here. But if based on what we've seen in 2025, if he managed to get second here, then he's on like I don't know. His path is really strong for 2025. Because, like you said, Zarno, I can't pick anyone except Kenny to beat Zarno in this field. Like Zarno Hughes is he's unstoppable aside from Kenny. So if Christian Coleman managed to actually beat him out, that would be huge. That would be really, really huge. So but
Well,
I'm not gonna I can't say that's gonna happen though. Like just being real. Like I can't do that actually pick that to
exactly.
happen.
I mean, well, okay, so let's go to the picks. I mean, Kenny's number one for both of us, and
He
I
is.
mean, please tell us in the comments if you think anybody else is winning because prior knowledge would tell us that you would have 100% success rate if you pick Kenny Bednarek to win a Grand Slam race in the men's short sprint.
Right, right.
Like
And
I'm not a
yeah,
sports betting person, but whatever those odds are,
right, you got it. And like also like obviously Kenny, well, yeah, no, his gap kind of grew from Miami, from Kingston to Miami in the 100 specifically, but it's not far fetched. Like he could, in theory, lose the 100. There's
yeah,
like a world where that happened. It could be close, but like even then,
not if
no
he
one's
run like
beating.
Miami though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like
If he
he's
run
too
like that
crazy.
guy, I don't. because y'all don't have that in the back. That's the problem. Like
Yeah.
once you touch, I mean, I'm not to stop you. Just let me know if I'm
No,
on
no,
this.
no.
If you when you're running 9/8 legal, and I mean, because it was 9/7 slightly windy. So if you people use a bunch of different calculators that look different. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. You give that man a +1, he's coming back with 9/8 if he give you a race like that.
Exactly.
So there's a short list of people who have that, period. Like have it. And then there's a shorter list who can do it now. And he's on that list. Who else in the world could do that now? Akani? Maybe.
Right now. Yeah, that's it. Maybe Akani. Maybe.
Nobody else on the planet, I don't think today. Like if you told them, I mean, they might believe it in their heart of hearts. Oh, okay, like maybe Fred, but like we said maybe.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean,
Like,
like they from what we've seen that it looked like that. So yeah, you put him on the shelf, he's one. My two, I'm gonna go 2-3 and get out of the way. I'm gonna say for now, I'm gonna say Zarnell and Christian Coleman 3. And yeah, I'm gonna stop there. I'm not even. I'm gonna give me a while to get to a wild card. But
yeah.
but
So
but it's hopeful for Christian Coleman 3. I'm gonna be honest. Like that's a shaky 3. That's a like I'm choosing you because I'm riding with you, even though the ship is taking on water.
I know that's the thing. That's where I have the same three, right? Kenny, Zarnell, and then I have Christian Coleman. I just think Christian Coleman is going to be consistent enough in both the 100 and the 200 because I think Christian Miller will beat him in the 100, but like I was saying, I don't think Christian Miller is going to be do well relative to this field in the 200. But then someone like Andre or Aaron Brown, I think they could beat Christian Coleman in the 200, but I think he'll still be good enough to like hold enough points to get third place overall. So I actually have the same. Kenny and Zarnell are just absolute locks to me, 1-2, and then I'm giving Christian Coleman the edge for third as well.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at.
I mean, well, we got to pick wild cards, so maybe that'll be where we differ.
Yeah. What do you
So
what are you thinking?
I could slant. Ah, man, there's logic to pick a bunch of them, as a wild card. I mean, okay. Here's my wild card. I'm gonna make my decision. This is who we're going. Aaron Brown, and here's why.
Aaron Brown. Okay. Okay. Because I don't have that as wild card. Why? Like, why? You got to explain that then.
I'm gonna explain it because, granted, it's wild logic. Again, I'm jumping out the window with this one. 2022 at the Worlds, if I'm correct, Aaron Brown was in the final for the 100 and the 200.
Yeah. Yeah. And Eugene, he made both.
So that means he has that level of talent to get that far. And we both said that he's been solid. And I feel like people don't, because he doesn't have any individual medals, I don't think people realize how good he has to be. That's the statement.
Yeah.
How good he would have to be for that Canadian 4x1 to do what it's done. Like it can't just be Andre. I'm sorry to tell y'all. It just can't. Like so as a result, this might be a moment. Not yeah, it might be a moment because I've heard him talk. Some of his content with Anthony's. Track and field network. So, like he's aware of like what the slams are and he cares about it. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
saying the other ones don't, but like there's like he has a general awareness that like I got that call. Let me see what I can do and take it seriously. And even Jerome Blake just came back from the slams, and so like he's mentally locked in a way that perhaps other sprinters may not. Like you just came back from I ran the Diamond, I ran this Continental Tour, I ran this, I ran that, and with him
Mm.
it feels like I'm going to the slam.
Hey, I could respect that. I could respect that. And I generally agree. I think, like you said, Aaron Brown is easily one of the most consistent athletes in this entire field, right? Like he's so consistent. Like you said, on those relays, he's actually been the most consistent athlete on Canada's relays, going back to 2013, for Canada, before even Andre DeGrasse, was on the team, before Brendan Rodney, right? So he's good. But for me, there's no way I could pick Aaron overall ahead of Andre. Andre is my wild card, where it's like I think coming off what he did in Tokyo, where he went, toe to toe, with Robert Gregory, he ran 20.2 into a headwind. And in the 100, I don't think he'll do well in the 100 here relative to the other guys, but I think things will even out where Andre, he's my wild card where he can really step things up. And he's one who gets going as the season progresses. So now, as we're getting into late May, into June, his second Grand Slam, he probably realizes what he did wrong in Miami. That's where I'm looking at. All right, Andre might be the one to really step up.
I mean, well, hey, I mean, looks like, we're going with Canada on the wild card.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm gonna say this much, I gotta land the plane. When I look back at this field, I mean, save Brian Lavelle. I mean, where I can't really
Yeah.
speak on him. I mean, you can. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. He, I was said he's made the Olympics for Jamaica last year. He's kind of like one of the young rising stars. He's run sub 20 and sub 10 in the 200 and 100, so he's good. But I mean, I in this field, like all respect, but I can't put him against these guys really.
yeah, I mean, and that's why I say like, see, because like you could come up with an argument for everybody, like of the one
Yeah.
names we didn't mention. It's just because like the question is like, do you really believe that argument today? And that's why I go back to like, 'cause again, like Udodi, it's like I believe in that he's gonna look like the guy who was at Stanford because I ain't seen
Mm,
him in a Stanford uniform in a while, and every time he ain't in one, he don't look like that guy.
yeah.
I
I
mean, I'm not here to
will.
comment on why. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
no, it's
it's
fair.
the races that I see
It's true. I will shout him out. He did get second place to Akani in Atlanta last week, but Akani ran a
so
windy
far
nine
ahead of
eight.
everybody.
Yeah, and he ran 10-0, but it was windy. So it's,
I mean, yeah, that's not
yeah.
it's second place technically, but like
Yeah.
to my point.
Yeah.
Like to my point. And but he was never even a great 100 runner in college, really, to be 100. Like he was as far as like at the NCAA level, he was like threatening. Like he slipped in, he snuck into an NCAA final, if I remember correctly. Like looking back at those results and looking at that year when the year he wins the 200, he wasn't even
Hmm.
supposed to make the final in the 100. Like he was like the last qualifier,
Mm.
like sneaks in there. So like the 200 is really where it's at for him, and even then, we ain't really seen those times.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So yes, I'm sticking with it. I mean, Christian Miller. Let's see if because basically with him, it's sort of like whatever success he has in an environment like this, it's sort of like on one end, it's like announcing yourself on the world stage, but all these guys ain't trying to get beat by you. That's how I see. So like it's gonna be that much harder for him because like I don't want to lose to the kid,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially between the 2 days. They're like, well, when them board points hit the board, I need to let this kid know this ain't the juniors.
Man, I mean that's also on the other side where Christian Miller's probably thinking that like these guys aren't taking me seriously. I gotta I gotta prove myself here. Because again, yeah, he's gotten, top two, top three in these various races, but like this is probably the most eyes that he's gonna have on him. Like Tom Jones, yeah, there was names there, but that's not a big meet. Even the Tokyo meet, yeah, everyone was looking at Sha'Carri. Like here now, this is like, all right, back to back days. You're gonna be all over. Everyone's gonna be looking at you now. So
Yeah, I
this
mean,
is gonna be it.
but that youthful energy is actually what can carry him. On that, like on the flip side, it's the like that total confidence that just like I don't care. And
Yeah,
that's the thing
yeah,
about young athletes; they just run hard. They don't even debate it. Like, oh, can I?
yeah,
Can I not? It's just, of course I can. Why can't I run fast?
yeah.
So,
So true.
we'll see how the plane lands. But hey, that's the short sprints for Philadelphia. At least that's how I'm seeing it. It's Kenny
That's
B
what it
versus the
is.
field, and I'm pretty sure that's how the betting odds are going to go down.
Yeah.
Are you taking Kenny or are you taking the field? All the smart money's on Kenny.
Can he be? So Grand Slam track, Philly is upon us now, and we have a very, very strong field in the women's short sprints. Now, we saw in Miami, actually, we saw in Kingston and Miami, we've seen high quality performances across the board. Miami specifically, where we saw some 10-7s dropped, we saw some fast times dropped. Now here going into Philly, we're going to see a very similar field with some of the names. Of course, all the racers are there, as well as a few familiar challengers. We also adding a few different names as well. Someone like Dean Smith is here, but Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, she's coming off of winning both Kingston and Miami. Gabby Thomas is still in this field. Tamari Davis is a challenger. She's going to be in here. So we have a pretty strong field that I would say going into Philly. I wonder what you're thinking, as we kind of assess the field. And do you think this is Melissa Jefferson-Wooden's race to lose once again? Is this her slam to lose, considering she swept both Kingston and Miami?
I'm gonna say no
Mm,
because um, first off, all the respect to what she's done to this point, but now I'm also looking at it from a different lens. Jamaica, she won, and I'll go out on a limb and say I didn't really feel like that. I don't think they gave her a field that was worthy of her talent.
in Jamaica. Okay,
In other words,
okay.
like she was here and y'all were whatever the second level was. Because the two, like as far as a collective for where they were in the season, because she came ready. Let's start there. She came ready. Like she came like I'm gonna go off. I'm like for what we at in the season, for where I'm at in my training, she went off. Some other athletes have a very different plan. So as a result, they're running hard, but like they're tempering their expectations. So when I say that, I mean like when she did it again in Miami, that was the one that meant more to me
Mm,
because Gabby comes down, Tamari Davis, who's here now, comes in. Tamari Davis feel like she could be Melissa Jefferson-Wood. I promise you that.
yeah, Tamari's good.
She feel like she's one of those athletes who she just happened to be American. Sorry. Like if she ran for Trinidad or something, they would love her. But she not.
Tamari's special.
It just
Tamari's
is what it is.
special.
So as a result, she just kind of in that zone where if I don't break through and go top three at the right time, because she did it in the past. Remember, she was 20 in 2023.
2023. Yeah, she made the World Championship final in the 100 meters. Not only made the team, but made the final at Worlds that
Yeah.
year.
So I mean, for what it's worth. So I mean, you fast forward to now, it's like okay, Gabby Thomas, I've still taken to win the 200. So let's reverse engineer the conversation because Brittany
Mm,
Brown, I'm assuming she'll do better at this slam. I'm just gonna assume,
yeah.
but like, I'm still not taking her to beat Gabby right now. Not from
No,
what
no,
I
no, no.
saw. I don't think enough is gonna happen between then and now. So, and Gabby Thomas, matter of fact, we having the conversation all wrong. I got to kick it to you on this. Gabby Thomas wants to win this because
That's true.
she's not staying in the short sprint after this. She's going to the boss battle. We'll
Oh
talk
yeah,
about that
that's a
another
good
time.
point.
I
Yeah,
call it the
that's
boss
true.
battle because, spoiler alert, we're going to get Gabby Thomas, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, and Mara Lady Paulino and Salwa Eid Nasser all in the long sprints in
In
LA. That's
Los
the boss
Angeles.
battle. It's the final
Yeah,
boss
yeah.
battle.
The boss battle. That is
So,
crazy.
so like she's getting ready for the boss battle. So as a result, she's just like, yo, let me check this off on the way there. Like, am I right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and
So
she wants to win this. She was disappointed in Miami when she didn't win that slam. Like she wanted to actually win the whole thing. But the question is, can she actually do it here? Because she got to go through some of the same people.
she,
Melissa,
she just
Tamari.
need somebody else just has. Okay, let's back up. Is Gabby going to beat Melissa on 100? No, I don't see
No,
that.
no, no, no,
But
no.
can somebody else beat Melissa? That's what she needs. She needs someone else to beat her.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Oof, that is true.
So who's the person? Let's go
It,
this way.
it,
Who
man,
here could do it?
the
And by
only
could do it, I mean
person
do it actually, like not in theory, not down the year later, not in the
like
past
right
season,
now.
like right now, who could do this? Because we know what she's looking like. Who could do it? Because Tamari Davis, the only one who I think could actually do it.
Tamari Davis is the only person who could actually do it. And like you can like in my Miami, Tamari Davis actually almost did it. Like Melissa ran, it was windy, but she ran 10.76. Tamari Davis ran 10.79. It's not like she ran 10.8 or something. She was actually kind of close. So in theory, Tamari Davis could beat Melissa, which would, like you said, then play into Gabby's favor. But
She just
will
can't let her have
she?
12 points in the 100. That's all.
That's the
As
thing.
long as she
Yeah.
doesn't get 12 points in the 100 and it goes down to 8, she be all right.
Yeah. Well, but then that also means Gabby has to finish ahead of all these other women, right? So
I
do
mean,
we think she's going to finish? Because we got Dean Asher Smith in this field. Do we think she's going to beat out Dean
well,
Asher Smith?
here's the thing. Let's go. Well, Is she going to beat her in the 100? She
in the
could.
100.
She
She
could.
could.
I mean, I don't think she will, but she could. I mean, I'll say it. Okay, let's go to the whole point score thing though, because maybe I'm
Hmm.
doing the math wrong. 8 plus 8 is 16. So as long as Melissa don't win the 100, she ain't getting more than 16 points.
Very true. Very
You see what
true.
I'm saying? So now all Gabby needs to do is come back with 4 points. And last time I checked, like to at least tie that score. And four
So
points is
okay.
what? 4 points is fifth.
Yeah, 4 points is fifth. So that
So
would
she
get
just
her.
got to be bet. Melissa can't win the 100, and she got to get at least. If she can get fourth and Melissa don't win, it's a wrap.
That's true.
I got
So
Gabby
okay.
for the two in the 200. It's over.
Well, okay. So you think it's a foregone that Gabby is going to win the two? Because also, I'm remembering Tamari Davis, she didn't run sub 20, but she was kind of close to Gabby in the 200. She ran 20.04, I think, and Gabby
You
was
20
21.
2204.
I'm sorry, 22.04, and I think Gabby was 21.9. So it's not like there was a massive gap. So you
Yeah, I
think it's
feel you.
foregone?
But do you
Foregone.
really? There's a difference between like the 200 is a little different because like okay, yeah, let's give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
Let's stop talking crazy. Gabby Thomas in the 200-meter dash is she is where Kenny Bednarek is in that event in terms of like there's only a small group of people who could realistically beat her in a 200.
Of course. It's true. That's
Let's
true.
be honest. Now, there's that Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, incident that happened in LA last year,
Yeah.
which is why we call it the final boss battle for a reason. But aside from that, when Gabby has put her mind to it, which I think she has for this slam, the short list of women who have a prayer of beating her, we're not even talking about go and do it. We're talking about the prayers, is Julian Alfred, Sharika Jackson when she's looking like Sharika Jackson. Am I missing somebody who's in the game right now?
The only other one, I mean, she's not active right now, but is Elaine Thompson Hira. Her status is
Yeah,
unknown, but that's a
like
whole
because I don't.
yeah.
Yeah, like even Sha'Carri Richardson in top form. If she's in
No,
top
no, no.
form, so is Gabby, and I don't believe you're beating her.
Yeah,
So
no, no, no,
like,
no.
but Julian Alfred, I think could get you.
And yeah, there exactly.
Like
You're
I've seen,
right. Those are the only
yeah.
ones.
So as a result, like I thought, like let's stop talking crazy. Like, like,
It's true.
like,
No, it's true.
like,
It's true.
like that's how when Brittany Brown won Atlas, it was a big deal
Yeah, that was a surprise. But then
because it's
even
like,
then, it's like Brittany obviously is amazing, but it's like it was after the season. Gabby hadn't run since the Olympics. So there's like some caveats there. Like on paper though, it's like, Brittany is not in the league of a Gabby Thomas in top form. So yeah, I mean, no, that's fair. And I do think I have no idea, but one of the reasons Gabby was close to Tamari was because she was disappointed in what happened in the 100. So because she finished like fourth place there and she knew she wasn't in a good position. So now I do think in Philly, she's probably going to turn up in the 100 to set herself up well to win the 200 and try and win this slam. But like you said, she has to hope that someone, in this case Tamari, is the only one
in
really
Tamari
who
we trust,
she has to hope that Tamari
in
beats out
Tamari
Melissa.
we trust. That's
But
what it came to. But see, but this is
but
all a testament to Melissa Jefferson-Wooden's talent and her
exactly.
success. That we're now because now you have to start game. You see how at this point it feels like a game plan.
Yeah.
Like we're actually trying to come up with a scheme. We ain't even the defense, but we're out here trying to figure out a world in which. So you know what? That's why I'm like, it's clear. It's Melissa Jefferson-Wooden and Gabby Thomas. I mean, when you ask me for my picks, you still got to put them at the top two because if we spent this much time trying to figure out how to make Melissa lose, clearly it's because she don't want to lose. So
Mhm. Yeah.
there's that. And then you can pick your order on how you see it going. It's just that Melissa Jefferson Wooden, I feel like her hmm. You know what? I take it back. I'll put them right next to each other in terms of
Mhm.
where they're strong. I actually still think, again, if she do it this slam, then I'll change my mind. But then again, I don't think they got anybody coming to beat her in LA.
Mhm.
I mean, let Brittany Brown
Yeah.
want to finally turn up. Like, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think anybody coming.
I don't know.
Unless
Yeah.
maybe they gotta bring back Tamari again. Tomorrow we trust. Like I'm saying, like I don't think anybody's actually gonna show up. Because here's the other thing. Think like an athlete. Like yes, you may, like it's a grand slam and there's the stage. But if you're like an actual A-lister or like the B plus list, the
Hmm.
people with like Olympic finals. I maybe got world medals in a relay to go along with these finals and world finals and so on. Did it multiple times. Do you really want to race Melissa Jefferson-Wooden in the month of May?
Right now, she's on fire.
Do you
It's
really want to?
she's on fire.
You
Like
could, but it's like, I don't really want to. So it's like, because those are the ones who can do other stuff in theory. It's only the people who ain't them who's like, I ain't got no choice.
yeah,
Like,
that's the thing. It's tough. So I mean, looking at the field, who do you think? Who are you taking, Melissa or Gabby
I'm
to
going Gabby
win?
one.
You're okay. You're going Gabby one to win the slam. Ooh,
Gabby, Melissa Jefferson Wooden two. And in Tamari, we trust three.
wow. Okay, so I have the same top three, but I have
Wait, I'm
Melissa.
sorry. I take that back. I'm sorry.
What?
I apologize for what I just said. For Gabby to win, Melissa can't. I need Tamari to win the 100. So no, it has to be Tamari has to get
Okay,
second. Like just mathematically, she would have to get second. So now Melissa Jefferson would become third.
yeah. Well,
So yeah,
okay.
sorry.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Well, I guess because I have the same top three. I've Melissa, I've Gabby, and I've Tamari. But is there a world now? I don't think so. But is there a world where Gabby just finds a new gear and she finishes like second or third? Like she finishes like second in the 100. Could that happen? Where she just like turns up?
I mean, if she finishes second in the 100, then the slam is over.
It's true. It's true.
That's why, like, but like I'm assuming for the purposes of entertainment for the people at home. Like, because at that point, if you're now watching the Gabby show in that final, if it's the 100, then the 200, then you're watching the
Yeah.
Gabby show in the 200.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. Like, I mean, granted, it ain't Sydney's level of dominance in her event.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't that, but it's whatever the next level is.
Yeah.
Where, like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said, there's a short list of people who are actually going to beat her when she actually wants to win. I mean, again, I mean, because she ain't never going to come back. She's never going to race Sydney in a 200 again because she's going to do it again. From what we expect, she ain't never
Yep.
going to do it the way she did in LA that last time.
Nope.
That's
I-
not happening. It's like nah, like it's like no, no, no. I got beat by you. Like it ain't happening.
That was yeah, that was not it. That was not it. I will say I don't know her training cycles and all kinds of things, but like around this time last year was when she did lose last year. And that's when she said like, "Oh, it's just a training block." I don't think that's going to happen in terms of like I know she wants to show up, but just I guess context. There that
Yeah,
race
well,
was around this time last year.
isn't this calendar a little different than last year? So,
It's very true, very
so
true.
I'm sure. I mean, hey, I'm not the coach who's doing the training method
Yeah,
cycles
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
whatever. I'm just assuming that they're doing it how they want to. But I'll say this much: I would just, well, if it was me, I would just schedule all the slams on recovery weeks and just kind of let them go out there and run hard at the back. But all that being said, I'm thinking again, Brittany Brown. I'm just waiting to see it, so she could shock me. And I mean, Tamari Davis, I know what I saw.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Dina Asher Smith, I feel like her and Daryl need to both like. I get the sense that their season doesn't start till Worlds.
Yeah, they don't have to go to their or they don't have to like seriously, put effort at their trials. They
Yeah,
have a whole different thing. They're good.
yeah.
They're
It
good.
feels it feels like their season doesn't start till then, which is why it's like I'm not overlooking them out of like just callousness, like just ignoring. It's just like it feels like they're not really getting started yet. Like they're here and they're racing, but like they ain't try like they're not gonna give us like that a performance that really threatens to me. But then again, if I had to pick a wild card, even then it like so see when you ask me, like when you get down to the wild card, because I already gave you my three,
Hmm.
it was Gabby, Tamari, Melissa. Because I'm not picking Melissa out of the top three, like that's
No,
out.
no way.
So
Okay.
like for with that in mind, like you know, then you move over to, I guess, Brittany Brown as the wild card. But I'm gonna skip here. Shout out to Jaden Mays, who's coming to the field.
Oh, Jaden Mays is in here. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to her because
Yeah.
she was doing it at Oregon, year in, year out for a while. Helped them win an NCAA indoor, and now she's on the pro circuit. So, I mean, because the way her eligibility
Yeah.
and everything played out. So, do I think she's gonna beat these women? No, I don't, because I just saw Jason Sears come to the slams twice, and I thought what she looked like, and I thought what Jaden May looked like racing Jason Sears enough to know that if
Mm.
Jason Sears can't beat them, you ain't beating them.
Yeah,
And
she in this field, and I would say this field compared to what Jasis ran especially in Kingston, like, yeah, this is a much tougher field. So
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I think for me, I'd probably give Dean Asher Smith my wild card. Brittany Brown, I think I just need to see a little bit more from her. She started the season a little late. It's no slight to her, of course, but like I think Dina, I've just seen a little bit more from her, and she ran at least a 200 at Grand Slam in Kingston, and she got third place there behind Gabby. So I at least know how she is. So I'm gonna give Dina my wild card. Um,
I
but
mean,
yeah.
I could easily give the wild card to Daryl. See, if I use your logic, I'm giving it to Daryl Nita. I mean, like if I was using that for my wild card, I just gave it to Brittany Brown on Legacy.
Well, even Brittany beat out Daryl Nita actually in both Miami, in both the 100 and the 200 in Miami. So even then, it's like Daryl actually hasn't been doing as well as
Yeah,
we would expect. But
yeah. I just feel like she's just gonna keep kind of
going up, yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true.
I mean, other people everybody has their thing, but I just because at the end of the day, I told you how I view her, where I feel like she just finds a way to be in the mix,
Of course, yeah,
regardless of who the field is. So it's like throw me out there, just give me 8 women in the world and say race them. She'll find a way to mix it up with them.
yeah.
Whereas,
Daryl is like Daryl actually on paper, she's like one of the better athletes. She was fourth place. At the only people who beat her at the Olympic Games were Julian Alfred, Shakira Richardson, and Melissa Jefferson in that 100. Like no one else beat her. So on paper, she's actually one of the best in the world. But
oh yeah,
yeah,
well, yeah, I mean, well, this is a Grand Slam track, and like I said, in Tamari we trust because she holds the keys to this slam, even though I don't think she's winning it.
yeah,
She could shock the world though.
she
She
could.
could. If she wins the 100, Gabby doesn't. And the thing, if she wins the 100 and can get up there in the two, was she second in the 200 last time?
She was second in the two. So if
Oh,
she
if
wins,
she wins the
yeah,
100 and gets second in the two, then I guess she gets it.
it would actually be over. Tamari, because if she wins the 100, there's no way she's finishing less than second in the 200, in my
You're,
opinion.
you're,
Like, so
well, I mean, well, I mean, you say there's no way. I say there definitely exists a world in which, you know, because Melissa Jefferson wasn't like far off on her.
no, she was close. She ran it was Gabby Thomas 21.9, Tamari Davis 22.0, and then Melissa Jefferson 22.1. So, Melissa Jefferson put in work, but I'm just thinking if Tamari Davis wins the 100 over Melissa, I don't think Melissa is then going to somehow turn up more in the 200 than Tamari would. Like Tamari at that point, she's on one. Like she is rolling. Like she's rolling. So yeah, that would have to that'd be crazy. That'd be
Well,
crazy.
I mean, okay, fine then. Well, look, I'm sticking with my picks, but I probably picked them wrong. And because like I said, in Tomorrow We Trust, which is funny. You would think that I had her number one. I just feel like she holds the keys to this entire slam with everything
Yeah.
because she's the only person who is kind of like the X factor on the boards because she has the ability to kind of demolish the point scores on both sides. So
Yeah.
like I said, that 12-point score, it means so much. So that's why like if you have someone who's pretty confidently going to get one of those, I mean, at that point, you can kind of flip a coin on how they're going to finish.
True.
Like, will they win? Will they not win? So, hey, that's my word.
That's what it is. Do we want to flip over to the women's long sprints really quick and take a look at that field?
Very much so. That said, though, with the women's long sprints, well, I feel like we're having a much more unique conversation because we're really debating now Paulino versus Nather. Am I right?
It's Paulino versus Nasser, and then everyone else. That's essentially the
Yeah, like it's
conversation.
it's two different slams now.
Yeah, two
There's
different
an
things happening.
individual slam between them, and then there's the slam for the field.
Exactly,
But the field has
exactly.
reasons to run. It's just
Oh,
not to beat them.
Exactly. I mean, no one is touching either of them, and then the field will be fighting it out for themselves. So we saw Nasser. She went crazy in Kingston at like 48-6, like absolutely blew everyone out the water. Paulino finished third there in that 400 at least, and overall in the standings. But then in Miami, that's where Paulino was like, nah, like I didn't like that, and she circled back and won, beat out Nasser in both the 400 and the 200. Now we're going into Kingston. I don't know. Do you think the tables are going to turn again where Sawa will get the win probably in the 400? Or do you think Paulino, this is it? Like she's going undefeated at this point?
Well, let's back up. There's two ways to say it. One, to answer your question directly, yes, I think Marilady Polino is going to win this. Like, hey, I mean, I'm conversational in Spanish. Wouldn't say I'm fluent, but I mean, um, she is my choice. And I don't second guess it. I'm not thinking that hard about it. It
Yeah.
feels pretty safe. Because remember, again, to recap how I understand it, she was behind Gabby in the 200, but Nasser
Yep.
didn't beat her. Gabby ain't
Nope.
here. She won the 200 in Miami. Gabby wasn't there to stop her.
Nope.
Then she won the four. I mean, she's going to continue to get faster, but she won the four, which shows that, like, hey, I mean, it's back and forth, even if Nasser runs, faster. Like, the whole point is, like, she's going to win the two.
Yeah,
There's nobody in this
that's
field.
locked. Yeah, that's locked.
Yeah, like the because like she just put down a national record. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
she didn't run at World Relays and was supposed to. So I feel like her that whole situation not working out puts even more of an emphasis on this race where it's like I want to get
Mm.
back out there and show the world what I can do. So I mean, like
Yeah.
I'm
No
sorry,
one's
like
yeah, she's
to
not
me
getting
it's
touched.
that. But on the other side of the discussion, Nather has to win.
Mm.
I feel like she has to win because like I don't think she will, but she has to because like the thing is like okay, she was second at the games, and I guess the discussion that is now opened up is that where you are in this
Mm.
situation? Are you just the second best? Because
Mm.
she has not won a slam. We've had two of them. She didn't win
That's
either.
yeah, she didn't
Lost to
win the
somebody
first one.
different both times.
That's true. That's true.
So now it's sort of like, okay, this is your third chance because the final boss battle is coming.
Yeah.
The final boss battle is coming. Gabby's coming back, and you ain't never gonna forget her. And then Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone is coming, and everybody knows that you never count her out.
She's dangerous.
When I see Sydney in these other events, to me it's like don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
She's dangerous.
Like
Like
she's like it's like Magic Johnson playing center in the finals in his rookie year with
man.
the Lakers. It's like that's how I see it, where it's like he ain't a center, but he could
But
play center.
yeah,
And
like
he's 6'9", like he could, and he did, and was effective. So Sydney's the same thing, where it's like she could, it will be effective. So for that reason, you see what I'm saying? Like to take what Anson said on our finish line conversation, she has to come to terms with the fact that the time is now.
mhm.
If you're gonna go get $100,000, the time is now.
Yeah, this is it. I essentially agree. Like Paulino, I don't think is losing. She's not losing. Like she took that first loss in Kingston with like, nah, that's never happening again. So she's not losing this. And Nasser, I think Nasser may be closer this time than she was in Miami, but I just can't see her beating out Paulino. But I do think that, like you said, going into Los Angeles, I think Nasser realizes, okay, I can't let this get away from me. And I need to like really step things back up. So she's probably going to use this. She wants to win this. She's going to try and win this. I don't think she will, but she's going to use it as like a stepping stone to say, okay, what do I need to do to try and get past Paulino or get as close to her so that when Sydney comes into the conversation, I can maybe hold her off or something. That's what Nasser is going to use it. But I'd like for me, Paulino number one, Nasser number two. Like that's what's going to happen this weekend.
I mean, hmm. In the 400, there is a world where NASA wins it. That's fair.
Of course. I mean, of course. Yeah,
It's
of
just
course.
so if she wins the four and Paulina wins the two, then what?
I think Paulino in the two is going to have like a bigger gap than Nasser would in the four.
And
Like
that's why she would win it anyway.
that's why she win. Paulino in the two is obviously just way better than Nasser. Like she's much better. But in the 400, Nasser and Paulino are more evenly matched. Even though Nasser ran 48.6 in Kingston or whatever, like Paulino has run that fast before. Like she's run faster than that before. But Nasser has never run as fast as Paulino in the two. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
thing.
all right. So put them on the shelf
Mm.
because we both see it going the same way. It's just the discussion now is about, well, like I said, NASA don't have a choice. You got to win this one because at that point, like you go into the final boss battle and you're just kind of, you know, maybe you might get third.
Yeah, oof, that's gonna. I mean,
I said
that's gonna be
maybe.
tough.
I mean, I'm
That's gonna
taking.
be.
I'm not picking her ahead of anybody in the final boss battle. I mean, that, again, that slam. I want to know who the other women come into that long sprints group.
Yeah,
I
we'll have to
mean,
see how that plays
like
out.
I want to see that, but I mean, like what it's like for them. As for back of the group, then because somebody got to get third. I
That's the thing. I
mean,
mean, who you looking at? Because we got Isabel Whitaker. She's coming back as a challenger. We have a couple others, but of course, Alexis Holmes is still in it. Nikisha Price. Like, I don't know who you looking at. And Isabel Whitaker ran really well in Miami. She did
yeah,
actually did
didn't she
pretty
get
good.
third?
I think she got third place overall in the slam. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna keep this. Even before you said that, I'm gonna keep the same energy because she's going back to the University of Pennsylvania track, and that's her home college track. I mean,
Ooh.
aside from that, like semester she ran at Arkansas, like I mean, like that's her college track. So you know, for that reason, I'm like, she's gonna want to put on a show on that track. She's gonna be very at home. It's gonna be very, I guess some people would even
Yeah.
say surreal or whatever adjective you want to put for her to be running a pro event for very real money in her college stadium with, this
Mm.
field. So, I mean, yeah, you pick her third, but I mean, you could go another route, but from what we've watched thus far, I mean, and we have a past slams worth of evidence to now go off of. I'm gonna just keep it rolling. Stay where.
No problem. That's fair. That's fair. I think she'll do really well. I'm actually gonna pick Nikisha Price for third though, because I was looking back. She didn't do well in Kingston, but she did better in Miami, and she actually almost I think she was fourth in the 200 um in Miami as well. And I think Nikisha Price is somebody who gets better as the season progresses. And she has to actually have her Jamaican trials in June. So she's kind of like she has to be ready. Like she has to really be ready in a few weeks. So I think now she's really probably going to turn up. And last year, Nikisha Price ran 48.5 and she ran 48.9 to win NCAAs last year, actually beating out Isabella Whitaker before she transferred over to Arkansas. So I think Nikisha Price for me, I'm picking her for third. But Isabella Whitaker is my wild card for like exactly as you said. This is like her home track in a sense. So, but yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Hmm. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
I mean, Isabella Wig is my third. I mean, if I need a wild card, I'm taking Alexis Holmes. And
Okay.
again, that's just, I call it straight on legacy. Feel like she's a competitor.
It's
She'll
true.
figure
It's
out a
true.
way to mix it up and just be with the field when it's all done, at least when you look at the boards. But again, it's two different slams, man. There's two slams
It
going on.
is.
It's the slam at the top. At this point, they're just taking like because it's interesting how the long sprints evolved for the women, where you
Hmm.
had the Gabby slam, where no, I'll be honest, I didn't think Gabby was gonna win, but then she did. That was snap.
Yeah.
She actually did. And then, well, the 200 helped her. But then you move on where, then you get the duel, and now this is the grudge match. So it's like, NASA, this is your time. You're supposed to win. You're supposed to get this one. For the purpose of the narrative, for the movie I'm shooting in my head, you're supposed to win this one. But for the final boss battle, all bets are off. And no disrespect, the betting line for you is not going to be high. So as a result, I mean, the time is now. If you want that slam champion, I'm telling you, the time is now. The time is
Man,
now.
it's now, but it's tough. It's tough. Like it's tough. So we'll see. We'll see.
When it comes
This
to Grand Slam track, I have to admit the Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone situation is evolving. And yes, we are talking about the short hurdles. And Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone is a part of that conversation. So, with that being said, she is running the short hurdles group. And when I first heard that she was going to do it, I'll be honest, I didn't think all that much about it. And then something hit me. They run a 100 and the 100 hurdles. And we don't ever see her in a 100, but we kind of want to know what it's going to be now. So for that reason, we're talking about the women's short hurdles. Akira Nugent is coming back. Slam champion Akira Nugent. Slam champion Danielle Williams is coming back.
Yes, she's here.
Like this is a real field.
This is here. Tia Jones is coming back. She's been in both slams. So this is a field. This is a very strong field.
So
Like, oof.
let's start there. I mean, let's start with just the general conversation. Like the elephant in the room is Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone entered the room. So so with that in mind, what are we expecting to see? Because we've seen all these other women face off. And
Mm.
the women's hurdles, I've given them credit. Like they face off and they race. I feel like we do get to see them race. But what do we do with this?
Well, so the thing that I'm thinking about is because to your point, these women always race. Like they are always racing, whether it's this combination or a different combination. It's like they're always competing against each other. What I'm interested to see is how do they respond to Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone just entering the field? Because I feel like her presence in the field may shift things. Because even if she doesn't have like on paper, she doesn't run faster than any of these athletes. Like her best is 12.65 from a couple years back. All these athletes have run faster, and most of them actually have run faster even just this year. But I think Sydney's presence might shift how people do respond. I could be wrong. I don't know, but at least in the 100 hurdles, right? Even before getting to the 100, where I think she could do something special there. But in the 100 hurdles, I think I'll be I wonder how people are going to respond to just her being in the field, lined up in whatever lane, in one of those middle lanes, like how people respond. But then that leads to a question like, where do we think Sydney is actually going to finish in the 100 hurdles? Like, do we think, like, how many of these people do we actually think she's going to be able to beat? Because again, she's not faster than actually any of these people, like on paper. She's just not.
Hmm.
So,
Well, it is the hurdles and strange things
yeah,
happen. Let's start
true,
there.
true.
So this isn't an open 200. So when you say that out loud, it's like, well, I'll say if Sydney can finish even inside the top six in the 100
Mm,
hurdles, because at this point what I'm really watching for is for her to win the 100.
yeah,
That's what I'm
that
watching
oof.
for. I mean, again, that's the real that she's gonna mix it up with the 100 hurdles. She might run a PR for all we know.
She could
It's
she
long and it's
could.
been long enough from the time she ran a 100 hurdles. She didn't agree to go into this thing blind. I have
That's
just
true.
too
She
much
knew.
confidence in her that like she been putting in work. So
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
result, like she might go out there run a PR. Let's say she come out there and run 12:48.
Well, okay. If she runs 12:48 though, I don't even know that. Okay, that probably can get her top six. But like these women are fast. I mean, we can go like
I mean, but we talking about this race
this
because
race.
like we just saw Atlanta where Kenny Harrison goes 12:3, Tia Jones goes 12:3, 12:4 in their first race, 12:3, 12:3 high, 12:3 mid, whatever. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Like if we're
yeah.
being 100% of honest, like yes, we see those 12 ones, but like let's not forget that like when somebody's running American record level times and stuff, they're the reason why they have record at the end of it. It ain't an everyday occurrence. So like
That's
I'm not gonna
true.
grade on a curve because of that. I'm gonna say that that happened.
That's true. I guess I'm thinking like even like yeah, let's take Atlanta for example, where yeah, like Akira Nugent, Tia Jones, they were both there. Like in theory, that was like their bad day, right? Like Tia Jones runs 12:3, coming off, she ran 12:19 in Miami. She runs 12:3 in Atlanta. That's in theory like not a good day for her on paper. Sydney's not beating that. Like as like talented as she is, like she's not dropping down to 12:3. Like and
No,
even
probably
getting
not.
to 12:4 is like That's a big drop. Even for the past couple years, that's a big drop. But so that's where I'm struggling to see where she can finish in this field. Like top six is pop because even like we have Tania Marshall who's in this field too. She just ran like she has a personal best of 12.3, but she just won the Tokyo Continental Tour in 12.5. And it's like, she's probably getting better. That's where I'm like, I don't know how well Sydney is going to finish in these hurdles. Maybe top six.
Yeah, well,
Maybe.
I'm just not I'm just not relegating her to the back. That's all I'm saying. That like she's gonna mix it up. When the race is
Mm.
done, she's going to compete.
She'll
I just
compete.
not competed in like I tried. Competed in like when it's over and you see the finish, she'll be like she was in there. So now it's gonna be like she was again, she could be sixth, she could be fifth, she could be seventh. I mean, like if because he like well, okay. We're trying to talk about the point scores. So let's be
Yeah.
100% honest. How many points do we think it's going to take to win this group?
I mean, so no one is getting 24 here. Like that's just not
That's
happening.
out.
No one is sweeping this event. Maybe I can imagine someone like a Kira Nugent maybe getting 20. Like if she win, like in theory, let's say she wins the 100, she gets 12 points, and then in the 100 hurdles, she finishes second and gets 8 points. Maybe she can get 20, but that's even tricky. So it'll probably be 18 or less points. I forget what Akira won it with last time, but I think she actually might have won it with 18 points because she got third in the 100 hurdles. So I'd probably say 18 or less will probably win it.
I mean, yeah, 18 or less, I agree. I'm like, for Sydney to win this slam, like, I'm game planning now. I don't think she's going to in almost any realm. However, the realm that does exist for her to win is if this field is as close as we say it is, if this field is as competitive as we say it is, then you need 2 to 3 people who ain't supposed to be near the top to be at the top in the short hurdles. Meaning people who don't have flat speed need to be at the
Mhm.
top in that.
Well, so okay, so on paper, at least we know someone like Tia Jones. Tia Jones at in both Kingston and Miami, she did terrible in the 100.
So if she wins the
Though
100 hurdles, that's perfect. That's best case scenario.
that's good for Sydney, right?
Yeah.
But then it gets tricky after that because now you have Akira Nugent, who could she won the 100 last time. Daniel Williams, she won the 100 in Kingston, right?
Yeah,
So
they need to finish it they need to finish towards the bottom
they need to finish towards the bottom. But
in order for there to be for a world to because here's the thing. Because see, I'm thinking again, I'm writing the movie, I'm making the movie in my head. I'm making the movie in my head. Sydney's already cemented in her actual event.
yeah, that's
I'm at
for
this
yeah.
point, I just want it to be out of like I think she's already done enough to be the greatest of this generation on the women's side. And again, you can make arguments for
Mm.
other athletes. You could. It's just that you can make a pretty good one for her. She
There's a
has
decent
complete
argument.
she has completely redefined an entire event. So much so that if she walked off the track tomorrow, we would just have to get used to watching people be slow. Because she redefined what it meant to run the 400 hurdles as a woman. She took people with her to places we've never seen human beings go. Like people, I really do believe that people went into training because she existed. Like
Yeah,
their
yeah,
mindset was, now I know that it's possible to do that. It's just like, again, like when somebody does something for the first time and you're like, oh, I didn't know we could do a 900 on a skateboard. But now that I know it's a thing, I
mm,
can now work on it. I didn't know we could run that fast. But now that someone
yeah,
has shown that it's possible, we just got to unlock the secrets before you don't even train for it. You don't even think it's a thing.
yeah. It's like this thing doesn't exist. Like this is just not
Yeah.
possible. So there's no point.
Yeah.
Like it's not
So,
possible.
I mean, with that in mind, like as we look at the short hurdles field, because we watched these women face off before. Shout out to, is it the Taji?
Yeah, the Taji Kambunji. She
Yeah.
actually
Like,
she
because
actually
I know
won.
Kambunji, I know her last name is, but that's her sister,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Her
It's
sister is
Mujinga Singh.
Mujinga
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the 100 and the 200. But Ditaji just got she got silver at World Indoors and she won the European indoor champs in the 60 and almost broke the world record there. And she made not last year at the Olympics, in 2023, she made the final in the 100 hurdles. So she's another one who's like super quality. Like she's quality. Like that's the tricky part. Even even someone like Christina Clemens, I think this year she's already I forget. I think she's run like 12:6 this year. She has a personal best of like 12:4. Like obviously Sydney is coming into this event and we're kind of like gaming out like how can she win? But it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Well, let's see. Do you think let's talk about that 100. Like, do you think Sydney is going to win the
Yes.
100? You think she's gonna win?
Because I feel like betting. Did you think she was going to win the 200 in LA?
No, I didn't. Last year I didn't.
And then she did.
That's true.
And
That's
it wasn't like
true.
she won it at the line. She just went out and won it.
Yeah, she blew the field
And
apart.
people always want to say, oh, the training and where they were in their season. You think she wasn't training? You think Sydney wasn't training? She was sure enough wasn't training for a 200. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, yeah.
And she won it anyway. So,
Mm,
like, I promise you, that was not like her. It's not like she trained the whole first half of the season before LA and said, we're going to win the 200 in LA, then we'll focus on the 400 hurdles. That's not what they did. So, now that we know the speed is evidenced through that, that now comes over to my understanding of what the 100 is going to be, which is,
mm.
I mean, yeah, it's her and Akira Nugent and Danielle Williams for that matter,
Yeah,
all going at it. I expect them to leave the field and the field will be running for whatever. But do I, here's a simple question. Before Grand Slam, if I asked you who's going to win in a 100, Danielle Williams or Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, who would you have taken?
before Grand Slam. I mean, I would have picked Sydney, definitely.
And I'm not changing my answer now. I'm not changing
Hey,
it now.
hey.
So that's
I
12 points that
oof.
I'm gonna give her. And now she just got to pick up something in the other event to make it work. Like this could be the one
Yeah.
slam where somebody wins with 16 and it could be her.
That's true. It could happen. It could
That's why I said
happen.
it's just because the fields are, it's just that like if Akira Nugent come out and, and if Akira Nugent and Danielle Williams get to the top of that pile in the 100 hurdles, then then Sydney ain't gonna be a slam champion. She ain't supposed to be slam champion. I just think her winning, even winning the boss battle, wouldn't be as big as winning this to me.
Yeah, yeah. This
Like
this is like
this is the thing that
this
like
is her boss battle in a sense. Like this is her. All right,
like
I gotta work for this.
yeah, but that's the fun part, which is like it doesn't feel like we ever get to watch Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone race. I feel like we
Yeah.
get to watch her again. She's doing what if you know anything about CrossFit, you know, Tia Claire Toomey became the queen of CrossFit. She just won multiple championships and just ripped it off. Once she figured out how to win, it was over. And you were no longer competing with her. You were working out with her. She was doing her thing and you were there. And you knew her thing was to win it. And your thing was to compete against everybody else. And like I think people started having conversations. I'm sure the other competitors started figuring this out when she starts winning three in a row. And it's like you're coming to the
Mm.
final day of competition because it's a multi-day competition, and you look at the boards and you're like, it's over.
Yeah.
And you trained all year to be the fittest in the world, and Sydney became that, where you're not racing her anymore. So now it's like I'm excited. I'm like, we get to watch her race.
I know. We get to see real competition, which is good.
Like like
Ugh,
like
man.
nothing against the other athletes. I'm saying like we get to see what it's like for her to actually go in, and it's a real open-ended competition.
Yeah.
So, but
So
she ain't
for
joined this
me,
to lose.
no, of course she's gonna work. She's gonna like put her all out there to compete and try and win. But like for me, I I'm picking Akira to still win the 100 just based off what we saw from her in Miami. Like I can't pick against her in that 100. Like I think I have her winning the whole slam again. I think she's going to do well enough in the 100 hurdles. She may surpass. I don't think she's going to win the 100 hurdles. I still have Masai and Tia. Maybe Tia will beat Masai, but I think Akira is going to win that 100. Sydney, I can't predict any times, obviously. I don't know, but I think Sydney will be close as well as Daniel will be close. But I think Akira is just She's rolling. She's rolling. And like she has Jamaican trials in June. Like she has to like really start to she's already been, doing well, but she has to like ramp up and be ready for her trials. So I think Akira is gonna take the slam and take the 100 ahead of Sydney.
I
That's what I'm
mean,
looking
you
at.
could be right, but I'm gonna just ask you one question. What do you think Akira Nugent's 200-meter PR is?
I'll take a guess. I'll say 22-7.
Never broke 23.
Never broke 20.
Now,
Well,
granted, she doesn't run it hardly ever. But my point is, we're throwing stuff at the wall. We saw Sydney go 22-0 legal in a race
yeah.
with other fast people though. That's the thing. It wasn't a time trial like what they be doing down in Claremont. It was like
Yeah.
it was like we saw a real field and her in the front. And what that told me is, wait, okay, look, I'm a I'm gonna actually pull it up while we're talking, and
Hmm.
because I want to see the footage. I want to know
The
what
actual
she.
footage.
I want to know. I'm gonna edit it and put it on the screen. When people see it, I want to know what she looked like at the turn.
She was strong. She got out really strong and I forget exactly, but she like kind of, pulled off the curve very strong. I mean, well, I know I look at the footage, but like
Cause
I don't
that,
know.
cause that's, cause that's the litmus test. How did she look when she came out the turn? Because if she's beating them out the turn, stop playing with her.
Okay.
She's
Well,
beating them out the turn. It's not
it,
close.
it's true,
She
but
had a no, 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 bro. It's not. It's true. She had body lengths between her and Jenna Prandini, Gabby Thomas,
hmm
Abby Steiner,
Brittany Brown
Brittany
was in there.
Brown.
Yep.
She had like it wasn't even like close. And
I
that tells
mean,
me stop playing with her. She might lose this 100. However, if you run this 100 more than once, she's gonna win one of those.
what? You only get to run it once.
I hear you. I'm just saying,
Like
like, if I got to make a choice, I'm taking her. That's 12 points. Now we just got to see what happened in the hurdles.
that's fair. That's fair. I mean, for me, it's like I've seen Akira in the 100. She ran 11:0. Even if her 200 isn't as strong, it's like we've seen she's run 11:09 now twice in her career. Once a couple years back, and then once literally just at the last Grand Slam. And even at the first Grand Slam, her and Danielle Williams were like neck and neck in that 100, where Danielle got the win there. So I know Akira is proven against this field of women, like against all these women, of course, except Sydney, but against all these women in the 100. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm
Bro,
looking at.
you do realize that Sydney did run the 100 in college, right?
She ran a windy time, right? I think she has a windy time.
Do you know
Well,
what the
I
time
forget.
was?
I forget. Was it like 11:1 or 11:2 or something like that?
11:07.
It was windy though,
I
right?
don't know what the wind is. I'm not looking at that. I'm just looking at,
No,
I'm like, it doesn't say that because
it
I'm
was
on,
no, it
I'm on
was windy.
Miles Clip. So they just have
I,
different stuff archived. But
I
what I'm
know for a
trying to,
fact it was a
whether
windy
it what,
time.
do you think she's faster today than she was then?
I mean, she is, but
I'm just,
like,
I mean, hey, we're spending a lot of time on this just because I'm like, we about to find out, right?
yeah. I
About to
mean, we're in
find
a fight.
out.
This is good. This
And,
is good though.
but that's what
This
I'm
is
saying. Like the when it is something about athletes who, they show you something where it's like you start picking against them, and then you real that you some I have this moment where I just wake up and it's like, wait a minute, why am I picking against you? You're giving me no reason to believe that other people are going to beat you anymore. The 100 hurdles, there's arguments to be made over there. But in the open 100, I understand recency if we just saw Akira Nugent. But now if you tell me, that's why I'm looking back. Like I'm looking back at, because I mean, she ran 22-0 in the 200 in college
yeah,
outdoors. She was in the indoor final in the 200 at the
yeah.
NCAA's. She was, and again, we're talking about flat sprinting, like in the 100. She ran 11:07. And again, you said it was windy. I'm like, I don't know how many times she ran it.
No, she only has.
Um,
That's the only 100 she's ever run, even going back to high school. I know that for a fact. Like, and maybe she ran it in high school, but I don't think like the stats have come up on it. But I know for a fact that's the only 100 she's ever run in a
Okay,
college.
it was wind assisted, but I'm looking at the field. Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you in that race because like they have the field here of like on
Uh,
that day when she ran 2018, only JV Oliver beat her by she was in the same heat and beat her by 300th of a second.
well, I mean,
Isn't she an Olympian?
well, this is 2018 though.
No, no, she was
That's
running
like,
for Nike at that time. She wasn't running in college.
well, but this is 3 years before Javian Oliver became even a name. Like this is 2018. Javian Oliver became like an actual talent in 2021. Like this is years before.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I'm just saying she was on the track with somebody who went to the games for America
Years later. I mean, because at that point,
in the 100.
Sydney was also like this next level athlete at that point too.
Yeah,
So
not in
we're
the
talking about a
100.
different time.
Yeah, so but not at the end of the day, what we're discussing this is the fun of the slams because
Yeah, this
with
is
the
good.
100 with the women's 100 hurdles, like that field has made it so that there's some degree of parity between them. However, what the slams is starting to do is show us who is and is not at the top, but it keeps getting washed out because there's two events. So as a
Yeah,
result, you can't just win the one. Like Tia Jones had a great day, and then it was followed up by another day, and it
yeah,
restructured how we remember everything. And
yeah,
that's why
yeah,
this is the first time I'm doing it in reverse because I've caught on that the women's short hurdles to me for who wins is no longer about winning the 100 hurdles. It's about having
yeah.
enough points. And since the points are equal on both ends, this is the slam that they gave us.
It's true.
I
It's true.
mean, I'm like, I don't think I ever processed it like this until this time.
Mm.
Because if Sydney wasn't here, then I'd probably be right there with you and say Akira is going to get it. I, but you know,
Well, so all right. So what do you think? Like, do you have a top three that you put down for this field?
I'm
Like,
not
are
gonna.
you looking at Sydney as taking the overall slam win
No,
for the short hurdles?
nah, I'm not that bold. I'm not that bold. But just because of the overall point scores, I think you still have to have her in your top three. So I'm gonna give it third.
Mm.
I think that's what's actually gonna happen. Akira Nugent, I'll join you and take her first. I was just giving you a hard time. But like
No, they're fair arguments. They're very fair arguments because yeah, when you look at things, it's fair arguments. Um,
I'm gonna go Akira Nugent, Danielle Williams, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone when it's all done.
it's all done. For
On the
me,
strength of the 100, that's why.
on the strength of the 100, yeah, no, that makes sense. For me, because I don't have Sydney winning the 100, and like again, going back to my original argument, like it's tough for me to even pick her against a lot of these hurdlers. Maybe sixth place, maybe, but like I have Akira Nugent. I think Tia Jones. I have Akira Nugent, Tia Jones, and Masai Russell in my top three, and then Daniel and
So you're,
Sydney
so you're betting on
somewhere.
Tia Jones and Masai Russell winning the 100 hurdles.
Yeah, I think Tia Jones is going to win the 100 because Tia Jones was close to Masai in Miami. It was like essentially negligible. She did pretty well in Atlanta, even though she lost. Like that was like a all due respect to that meet, it was a side mission for a lot of these athletes. Like it is what it is.
It was
So
a side mission.
yeah. So I think Tia and Masai are going to show up again in the hurdles. They won't do well in the or relatively in the 100, but I think that'll be enough. So Akira, Tia, Masai, and then Sydney. I just can't give it to Sydney. Like I can't put her in my top three just based off the strength of the hurdles, and I don't have her win the 100. So,
That's
but
fair.
she don't mix it up. She don't mix it up.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's fair. Well, okay. Pivoting to the long hurdles, then.
Yeah,
Let's just say this much because we've got Anna Cockrell and
yeah.
Dalilah Muhammad. I mean, Dalilah Muhammad is coming back, but Anna Cockrell. People have been asking in the comments, is Anna Cockrell going to show up in the women's long hurdles? She's here
She's
now.
here. She's here.
So, what are you seeing with this field? And Jasmine Jones, we're gonna finally get to see her
Yeah,
in
it
the
looks like
slam.
she'll be back. I think Anna Cockrell. I mean, I think I want to say Delila, but like Anna Cockrell, I think she's going to take the, especially she's going to take the slam. I think Anna Cockrell will take the slam. I could see Shamir Little also doing maybe in the top three, maybe second or third, because I feel like Shamir could win the 400. She is by far the best 400 sprinter in this field, even with someone like Anna or even Dalila, who's run good 400s, but Shamir is just like too much. So I think Anna, Shamir, and Dalila, that's probably like my top three out of all the women.
By the way, I know this is I know we just got on this.
Mm.
Huge shout out to Anna Hall
Oh
for what
yeah,
she
from
did
Miami.
in that slam because you have like to put it all in perspective as a multi-event athlete.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, she ain't really a multi-event athlete. She's just an all-world athlete who
Yeah.
does the hep because what y'all gonna do? Like
She's dangerous.
that's how it feels. Because I didn't think she was gonna go top three in that slam. I
Neither
just
did I.
bypassed her. And then because it wasn't even because she
Oof.
was top three in both events.
Yeah, in the 400 and the 400 hurdles.
But
She
that's
was
why it was,
good.
yeah. So I was like, at that point, like she just rewrote the narrative on what it actually is. Like again, we have some. I mean, when we're looking at this field, I don't think we have one of those. Anna Cockrell, she ran the 100 hurdles in high school, in college. Like she did both. So like, and you see combo hurdlers, you see that.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
like, I'm saying like just rewriting the narrative of like what you actually are. It's like just like Tim Tebow with a football player. What's his position? Football player. Like he was playing quarterback, but his position with football player.
Yeah, he did
That like
everything.
Anna Hall, like what's her position? What's her event? Track athlete, track and
Yeah.
field athlete.
Track and field. Like she is track and field, right?
Like
Like
yeah, if we needed to pick representatives for the sport, like she'd go right up there with Sydney, who's not in this. So I'm gonna go off this. I'm taking Anna Cockrell to start because of what last season was, and I also whenever I see athletes, this is where the connection in my head. Like when I see athletes who are talented across multiple events,
mhm.
I just start, kind of like I give them more grace because the talent kind of starts to win itself out. So where do you see Dalilah Muhammad finishing in all of this then?
I think she'll be my overall top three. I probably have her second in the hurdles because like she finished second to Sydney in Kingston. She actually did really good in Kingston in overall because she got second place overall, but she got second place specifically behind Sydney. And then she's run pretty well on the circuit too. I think Anna has I forget exactly, but Anna and Dalila are like the two fastest in this field in the hurdles for the year. But Anna, I think, just broke like I mean, it's not an official event, or it is what it is, but she broke the American record in the 300 hurdles earlier this year. Like she's just on one. So I have Anna and Dalila, probably 1, 2 in the hurdles. But I think Shamir Little will do well in the 400 and like decent enough in the 400 hurdles that she'll probably, get into my top three as well. Like overall top three.
Hmm.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Shamir Little thing is a situation because we know what her talent is. I also know that she was coming off of injury.
Yeah, she had
So it's sort
injury.
of like picking the slams. It's like, well, if it's Shamir Little running the way in which we have come to know her to run, then yeah, you put her in there. Like it is what it is. But if it's not that, if she's still kind of like finding her footing, then that could mess it up because like at the end of the day, these slams, like the names that people don't recognize, all those athletes are coming to play. So
Yeah.
that's why when the racers do hold serve, that's what I call it, where they just go one, two, three, four. It requires them to prove why they're that good. They're not just waltzing in there. This isn't no shade to the Continental Tour, but this ain't some of those fields.
It's not. It's not. It's not. It's really not.
Like, because some of those fields are like, a lot of local athletes from that host nation, and then a few extra athletes, and then like the headliner. This is not that. Like
Nah.
everybody's better than like a lot of the core of those fields.
Yeah.
And they're coming with like, oh, this is a slam.
Yeah.
They got money
Eh,
on the line. Because these are people who can appreciate that money,
exactly.
especially however it
Exactly.
convert to their nation. Like they like, look, I can appreciate this, so let me, make sure that I give it my best effort. But yeah, I'm going Anna Delilla from like 1, 2,
hmm
and we got to pick a third. I'm still just gonna just hold with Shamir Little. I know Rochelle Clayton is coming back. Shout out to her.
Yeah.
She missed Miami,
She missed
but
Miami. I
and
mean,
she that kind of puts her somewhat in the same boat as Shamir Little as far as like, just what kind of we don't know exactly how training mechanisms and everything may have shifted around compared to actually running on these days back to back.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And like only for the purposes of because at the Miami Slam, Anjanette Knight, she actually got she actually did very well. She got second to Sydney overall, both in the 400 hurdles or she finished third in the 400, but she got second overall. So Anjanette Knight could be someone here to surprise, but I think just off the strength, it's like Anna, I think she's too powerful. And then Dalila also probably and Shamir. I think those three are like they're holding things down. They're holding things down for me at least for sure.
Hey, hey, I
Yeah.
respect it.
Grand
I
Slam
respect
track Philly is upon us again, and now we're taking a look at the long sprints. So we have a very similar field to like what we saw in Miami. We have a couple returners from Jereem Richards who won that slam. We have Alex Ogando, one of the you can call him an international Avenger when we're talking about like the 200
it.
if we want, right? Always making finals. We have Matthew Hudson Smith, the first slam winner in Kingston. You have new names like a Matthew Boling, right, in this field jumping into the long sprints. So this is a pretty intriguing field. We may see some things mix up. We may see some things change, or we may see some things, I don't know, stay the same. But I don't know. What do you kind of take away at looking at this men's long sprints field?
Well, there's two things that stand out because really three things because there's almost like
Mm,
there's each slam has its own narrative since we talk about storytelling. The story from the first slam is Matthew Hudson Smith,
hmm
like just kind of just holding it down, coming away as the victor. So then that puts him on the shelf. Once you win one, you're on the shelf, and from that point on, you're a winner. So now we know you can do it. So you might do it again. Then you get the Jereem Richards, Alex Ogando situation, specifically the 200, where they go worldly, down to the thousandth. I don't see
Yep.
this going anything different in terms of them
Yeah.
deciding to go substantially slower, given whatever conditions they actually have. So I don't think anybody running with them in the 200, not the way I just saw. I mean,
No, you don't
but
need Kenny Bednarek to take any of them out.
yeah,
Like
but the
literally.
literally, but the only person here who, because I'm looking at the 200 first, because that's where the spread is wider. The only person here is the one they brought the extra name, Matthew Boling, who he is the athlete who is probably one of the greatest track and field athletes that we have in this generation, but he's a track and field athlete. And I'm talking about the complete package. So
Yeah.
as a result, not like any one event, but I mean, he's still going 20.3 this year in a
hmm
race that he won, or a meet that he won for that matter. It was in the 400, he broke 45, which,
Yeah.
this field is moving. These fields are
Yeah.
moving in the four. But I'm saying, like, I think he's going to get third in the two. I don't think he's getting second, but
No.
let me say, what I'm saying is winning the slam, if you are Matthew Boling, let's just live in the crazy world where he does. Let's just live in that crazy world for a second. That would actually be huge to me for where he's
Mm,
been to where he is. That said, I don't think that's the world we'll be living in. I think we'll be living in a world where he's fighting for third or fourth.
yeah. Yeah. Maybe. I don't even know if I have him third or fourth overall. I think in the two, he'll definitely do better. But I do agree that like in a world, even not even winning, like finishing top three here for Matthew Boling. Because if we're looking at this field, like you said, you got Matthew Hudson Smith, you got Jereem Richards, you got Alex Ogando. These are all guys who have made world championship and or Olympic, not actually all of them, world championship and Olympic finals. They've all made them. And many of them have medals. Matthew Boling not only doesn't have, well, he has relay medals, but individually doesn't have medals.
Yeah, yeah.
He hasn't made an
Different.
individual team, obviously not made a final, and he doesn't even have a major shoe contract. Like he's
Yeah.
technically, and I don't know his situation, but he's an unsponsored athlete right now,
Yeah.
sprinter right now. So this would be a massive. Like, we just saw, Ja'Cory Patterson. I don't know what Matthew Bowling's situation is. I don't know if he's working a job or anything, but like this could be a big situation for him if he actually shows up. Now, like you, I don't think he's going to win. I probably even have him lower than you do, but I agree that at least this could be a big situation for him.
I mean, hey, I'm just gonna keep an eye on him. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like for the purposes of story, like for whatever the next step is in his career, like I think that Matthew Bowling being able to show up and show out at the slam, would be wondrous because at the end of the day, he's somebody who's really paying the price for the lack of infrastructure in the sport.
Mm,
That's why, like, for people who don't get it, track and field in its team structure, if you think about a conference championship in D1, he's who you want. You want him because it's like, oh, I can get you with the jumps. You can run a 4x4. I can run you on open four if I have to, run you in a 200, run you in a 100. And he could do all those things at a quality level where you're going to get value, even if
yeah.
that value, it's kind of like what Lance Lang eventually became for Arkansas, like the Swiss Army sprinter, as they called him, but different because
Mm,
this guy could jump. So that said, I'm not jumping out the window. Jereem Richards, I think he's going to do it again.
yeah.
I think he's going to win the 200. I think Ogando's going to have something to say about it. Let's clarify. But
Yeah.
I think Jereem Richards is between the two and the four, the combination between, like, even if he gets second, I think he'll still be, you know,
Yeah. He'll
right
be good
there in the
enough.
four.
Yeah.
Where if he might be able to win it going second. This might be one of those weeks.
Yeah. Because, like you said, no one's the only person who could touch him in the two is Alex Ogando. And Alex is not doing well enough in the
The four,
400.
yeah.
So it's like, yeah, this is dreams. But then after that, I don't know about you. I'm looking at maybe Matthew Hudson Smith. I think he has the potential to do pretty well. Uh, Even though he didn't do as well in Miami, but he won the first slam and he probably realized it's like, okay, I need to step things back up. And he actually had a pretty good 400 in Miami. He actually was kind of close to Jereem in Miami in the 400. But I think he's probably like, all right, I need to step things back up. In Kingston, he won the 200. Now this is before Jereem was looking good. This is before Alex came in. So I don't know. I'm looking at Jereem Richards and Matthew Hudson Smith probably as my top two. And then I think I'm going to throw Alex Ogando in there because I think he'll do well enough in the four to hold a top three spot. That's what I'm looking at as my top three.
That's fair. I mean, I can't really get mess with it. I mean, just to be different. No, I can't say it. I don't think I can justify it. Bowling is my wild card. He's my wild card because his 200 is going to be, to me, I think he's going to get third.
Mm,
So that's 10, 8, 6 points. And
yeah,
then
yeah,
his 400, I think he'll, I mean, if you look at the way the point scores might fall, I think this is going to be a lower point scoring event like as far
probably.
as like is more parity. So he might come away with like 10, 10 points, 10, 11 points, but that might be enough to
It
sneak
could
in
be.
there. I
It could
mean,
be.
certainly be fourth, but I'm gonna go Jereem Richards still at the top just because I know that he wants to come back and validate. Like I think winning one slam for him isn't enough. That's if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
wants to win another one. Everybody wants to win one, but I think he wants to win it differently. And like even the interviews he did post competition and just some of the stuff that he did, like it seemed like okay, well, I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah,
Well, you
yeah.
told me not to doubt you. I know I doubted you once before, and there were things I didn't know about. You came back and showed like, no, 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 no. Hey, I was off my game. I don't make any excuses. Now I'm on. So for that reason, there you go. I'm gonna take Matthew Hudson Smith second. No, sorry. I'm gonna take Alex second
Mm,
because I think if
okay.
he wins that 200, those 12 points will whole keep him up there.
Mm,
Like
okay.
like
Yeah, that
when
makes
the
sense.
like
Yeah.
he'll because even if he gets like 3 points, like it's okay.
Yeah, then yeah, once you get 12, it's hard to
Yeah, it's
you're going to
hard
be
to
in the
fall
top
off
3.
hard.
Yeah.
And so but that said, this is the long sprints. When we move over to the short hurdles,
Hmm.
Cordell Tinch is coming back.
This is this is gonna be a race because we got Cordell Tinch, like he was out in China, killing it, doing crazy things, going what number 4 all time. Now he's back in the field, coming back from Kingston. Trey Cunningham, who just swept in Miami, he's in the field. Sasha Zoya, of course, he's a racer. He won Kingston actually ahead of Cordell Tinch. He's back in here. This is a this is a pretty good field. At the top level, I think this is actually a pretty good field. I mean, how do you think this one might play out?
Do you think Cordell Tinch and Trey Cunningham are the best hurdlers right now in this field?
Absolutely. Absolutely, by
So
far.
you kind of got to start your negotiations there and then work your way down.
So what do you think? So Cordell Tinch, he has a faster time this year, but Trey Cunningham might be more consistent considering he beat out. Yeah, I know Grant. I know Cordell technically beat out Grant at the that one Diamond League that Grant kind of like hit the hurdle at, but like Trey Cunningham actually beat Grant head to head, like fully finished race, no issues. So who I don't know. Who do you think? Who would you take?
I would take Trey Cunningham right now,
Mm,
and that's trying to be as level-headed as possible and not get emotional. For that reason, I think you got to take him now because, well, remember we're talking about the whole package. What he showed me in the 100, because Jamal Britt can run with him. I just don't trust him in the one in the 110 hurdles. So
yeah,
for
that's
that,
true.
not in this field. So for that reason, Trey Cunningham's likely going to win the 100.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, if Jamal Britt wins the 100, I mean, that would be the most wild thing for the purposes of the slam because you just gave 12 points to a guy who nobody was checking for in the hurdles.
Man.
But so let's assume that Trey Cunningham wins the 100. From that point on, like he'll be right up there when the hurdles come back out.
hmm
And Cordell Tinch, I know he'll be not know. I know he could win the 110 hurdles, and yes, he had the fastest time like up until now, which he's done before, like in the
Yeah.
past. Like again, he's a name that, when the Olympic Games came, he wasn't there because of the American system. But I mean, he's one of our great talents. Again, a bowling S talent, somebody who can do a little bit of not a little, a lot of everything.
A lot. He's actually
He can
another
high
one.
jump, long jump, hurdle, and obviously he can run without the hurdles if you need him to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for that reason, his position is track and field, or his event is track and field, but the hurdles is what he's doing. So, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place because I've got a lot of reasons to want to take Cordell Tinch, but
Mm,
now I'm still saying like, if Trey is going to run like this across the board, y'all are going to be severely limited.
yeah. Th- That's the thing. It's tricky. Trey Cunningham just looks to be on one right now. I think even though Cordell ran fast, it's like Trey Cunningham. I feel like Trey can match his energy in those hurdles. Like you said, no one is touching Trey in the 100. Like I think that's gone. Jamal Britt on paper is the closest, but like Trey got that. The hurdles, Cordell could put up a good fight, but I just think when you beat out Grant Holloway, who is like the best guy, like obviously he's injured, he has the wild card, he's a defending world champion, Olympic champion. Like you beat out Grant Holloway in a head-to-head race all the way to the line. That I think is different than just doing it. And again, this isn't like to disparage Cordell. Like obviously Cordell, he won Diamond League races. Like he beat out top guys, but Trey Cunningham has just been like clicking off those races. So I have Trey sweeping this slam again, but I have Trey and I have Cordell going one
I
two.
don't think he's going to sweep it though. I don't
You
have
don't
that.
think so?
I think Cordell Tinch will win the 110 hurdles. I just don't know if it'll be enough.
Really? Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
okay.
Like that's not like it's because see that's the thing. It's like it's kind of like the Kira Nugent situation on the women's side, where
Mm,
in the last slam, the 100 was hers.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
there was no
yeah.
one to stop her. So as a result, the 100 was hers. And in this one, like we didn't know that there was no one to stop Trey Cunningham. And the theory, Jamal Britt was the only one who, in theory, could, but he just was not. He
No.
had given us no evidence that he was going to do what he needed to in those short hurdles for it to matter enough.
Yeah, yeah. No.
So not for like, what you notice at the top of the boards. So I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna say this. Daniel Roberts could very well give us a great race. He very well could.
Mm.
This
Yeah,
could be the
could.
moment. Because remember, the training blocks are moving through. So
It's
he
true.
very
It's
well
true.
could be at that point where now we're going to get that race. And if so, I'll say I told you so. So for that reason, here's my crazy way to go about it. I'm gonna go Cordell, Trey, Daniel Roberts.
Really. Oh,
And that's because I'm believing that Daniel Roberts is gonna just he's gonna break up whatever's happening at the top in the hurdles. Because like he's been coming to
Mm.
these slams and he ain't trying to just keep coming to be coming.
Yeah, that's true. At some point, he's
And
like,
he's
all right, I
faster
got to turn
than
up.
Freddie has been in the 100. So that moves
Yeah,
him
yeah,
up
yeah.
a spot. So as a result, like that's why when you're choosing between the two, like, well, you take Daniel Roberts on that regard, but I just don't believe he's gonna like. I think he could win it. I'm thinking Cordell Tinch is gonna win it, and again, you just kind of balance the points from there. Trey, I think I have him second because I think it'll again if he wins the 100 and gets, he'd have to get third in the hurdles. I feel like.
Yeah. And Cordell would have to do pretty well in the 100.
Well, Jamal Britt's gonna beat him.
That's the thing. Jamal Britt is good in the 100. He's not like holding it down the hurdles, but like he's that 100 is
He's good. Yeah, Jamal Britt's gonna beat him in that. So, man, this is actually pretty tough because like I'm thinking
it's
now,
tricky.
like
It's
because
tricky.
now I'm starting to think even if Cordell Tinch wins the 110 hurdles, will it matter?
That's why
Like,
for
how
me I
much will
have
it matter?
I have Trey Cordell and then I have Jamal Britt because Jamal is like he's I
Because he's
think he's
giving him
gonna
those 8 points.
I'm giving him the 8 points in the 100, and then I figure he's gonna do well enough in the hurdles. I don't know, fifth or sixth or something, where it's like, all right, he can get enough points. But you to your point, you're right. Daniel Roberts, he doesn't want to like he can't keep coming to these slams and like not showing up because he's an Olympic silver medalist. He's a world championship bronze medal. Like he's one of the best hurdlers in the world. So he at some point definitely wants to show it. So he could show up. Even Freddie Crittenden could really show up here where, he's an Olympic and world final. Like, who knows? But yeah, I don't know.
And
This
we
is a
didn't
tough
notice.
field.
We didn't even say Sasha Zoya's name
It's crazy. He's the
because he
original
won the
slam
first
champion.
slam, but now it feels like that was so long ago.
And what's crazy is he got second in Miami, like overall. He was actually second place, I think, which is crazy. So it's not even like he fell off.
I think if it did feel like a fall off because Trey went wire to wire.
Yeah, that's why. That's
Like
why.
in both races, you wasn't looking at the tape. It was like, oh, Trey won this. Oh, Trey won it
Yeah.
again. And that redefines, again, that's how people see track. A lot of times when we go down to individuals, not teams,
Yeah, yeah.
I see the winner and I see the field. And especially if the winner is here and then there's the field. So like, I think that's kind of where it landed me. But yeah, that's how I'm calling it. I mean,
Yeah.
Jamal Britt he holds the keys to the slam.
He does. He does. He can
Not necessarily to win it for himself, but he's about to win it for somebody else based on that 100.
Yep. Everyone's gonna be watching Jamal like, all right, where did you finish so that I can determine like how my points kind of unfold.
Especially with the 100 when the 110 hurdles is over
Yeah, yeah.
and then the 100 is coming after, you can almost predict how your weekend's going to go from that point based off of how he went in his hurdles.
That's true. That's so true.
The
So
only
true.
way I mean Jamal Britt would have to sneak that 100 out and do something crazy in those hurdles in order for him to actually take it. And that would be an upset, but I ain't picking it.
Yeah, I'm not
So not
I'm
even
not
a
going
little
on
bit.
that train.
So
Hey,
but now
but we got the last one. I mean, we got the men's long hurdles. Now, this one I think is completely different because at this point, it's a one man show. We got two different races essentially. We got
at
the
this
man at the
point
top.
it's a one man show.
The man at the top is running his own race, and then we got everyone else fighting for the rest of the spots. This is like, is do we think anyone is beating Alison Dos Santos in
No,
this again?
no.
No,
We don't even need to
like,
waste our time arguing it.
that's a foregone. He got 24 points.
Isn't
Like
that what he did
that's
the first two slams?
first two slams, and
And they ain't getting
people
nobody new.
nope, and people said because Chris Robinson between Kingston and Miami, he had run a little faster in the 400. So people are like, oh, maybe he can take down Allison, but like it actually wasn't even close.
It didn't even matter. So
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, with that in mind, it's essentially the same field rolling back. I mean, we got like
yeah.
one new name. Like as far as like if you watched both slams, you're gonna recognize almost every name except
Yeah.
for what is it?
I think it's
Wilson.
Sini Wilson. Yeah, Sini
Yeah,
Wilson is the only guy.
Wilson is
But
the only new name. Yeah. So,
everyone
but
else has been here.
yeah, so we know that's why there's no point in pretending anymore. It's like y'all lost to this man pretty solidly to the point where Caleb Dean couldn't even beat him in the 200 hurdles.
I know that is crazy. It's like, so
So like we have to do 400 of them, like
man,
400 hurdles. I'm like when I say couldn't, I mean it wasn't close when the race was done. So
nah.
it's like if you can't beat him in half the race, and we know you can't beat him in the whole race, I'ma just mail that in and say he's gonna beat you again.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's foregone. Allison got this sweeping the slam, but then after that, I don't know. For me, I think Chris Robinson will probably hold his own. He's another one where he actually got second place in Miami, and as far as I know, in the past month, he hasn't gotten a pro contract or anything like that. So he's still running for that money. That's my thought process. And obviously, he's like insanely talented. So yeah, I have him getting second, and then I round mine out with Caleb Dean. I think he'll probably get third. Holding down the pack. You know.
I'm gonna say the unpopular thing. Well, here's the first thing I'm gonna say. Chris Robinson, he is my second as well. For similar logic, he's been again the slams for him. They matter a ton, and it looks like
Yeah.
it when he shows up and competes. So I don't expect that to change. And he's running with the same guys he just beat. So I don't unless they want to become new, he got to just do what he did last time. 4 weeks later, and he'll
Hmm.
be all right. As for everybody else, when you bring up Caleb Dean, I see his talent. It's undeniable. I'm just not taking him in my three.
Mm.
No, no shade. I mean it with all due respect. I'm just not taking him. I don't believe that in the 400 hurdles or the 400 that he'll hold it together through the race long, specifically onto that final stretch long enough in order to justify taking him over someone else. I mean, it feels like a toss up, honestly, once you're looking at third. So maybe it's like that's why originally I was drawn to that name
Mm.
because it does feel like a toss up. No, I don't think CJ Allen has the 400 speed
Yeah, no.
because we know nobody's getting 12 points in either of the events. So I just don't. So once you take that away from people, it's like, oh man, I don't think CJ Allen has the open 400 speed. I think he's a 400 hurdler more than anything else.
Yeah.
Trevor Bassett is in a similar boat. I think if pressed to choose one of the two, I'd take Trevor Bassett.
Yeah. Trevor is actually he's decent, not like a true 400 runner, but he's run some 4x4s, at least prelims for the United States before. So he has some, and actually he's a world indoor silver medalist when he was in D2 back in whatever year that was, 2022, I think. So he actually has some 400, talent. I forget what he finished in Miami, but Trevor's not too bad.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take Trevor Bassett as my third then, just after because I wanted to, and now that I have the slightest shred of something to stand on beyond, like his Olympic trials performances, his making it
Hmm.
to Worlds, things like that. Like, I mean, because again, he was at the games, but I'm saying like, yeah, I mean, if I got to pick a third, I mean, that's my third. But the only thing that's a foregone conclusion was number one. Like there was
Yeah.
this is more clear cut than Kenny B winning.
This might be
This is
because
more clear.
yeah, once Sydney moved from the down to the short hurdles, this is like the foregone. This is like the clearest the clearest group right now. So
I mean, hey, I mean, y'all want to keep giving the man checks? I mean, he's enjoying his time.
he's having fun. He's enjoying it. I
If they
mean,
fly me in, I run, I get paid. What's not to like?
they love it.
He
Hey,
better hope Bry Benjamin don't come to Grand Slam.
yeah,
Because
that's
those are the
true.
people who could mess it up for him.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I
really
mean?
the
Like,
only people who can actually like take it away. But for now, it's like Allison is this is his house. So yeah. My name is Anderson from the Final Leg.
And I'm Coach Rob from SCA Track and Field. And thank you for watching this segment from the finish line.
If you want to know what's really going on at the high school and college level, be sure to subscribe to Coach Rob Track and Field.
And if you want more content on the best track and field athletes in the world, be sure to subscribe to The Final Leg.